Buzz's retirement garage. Nope, not in the garage again. At least it's not the library. Well, you could call this the library, the second library, right? This is a bathroom. Well, it'll be a bathroom eventually, right? As some of you know, I've been working on this quite a while, but we're getting there. But anyway, while Buzz is working, he's always thinking about some odd thing, right? And it's always retirement related. And I thought to myself, when it all boils down to is retirement is really simple. It's not that complicated. And how did I come up with that? Well, pretty simply. And again, this is a very hierarchy overview of retirement. There's always there's going to be issues with every retirement that some you foresee, some you don't. So this is just a basic overview and trying to keep things simple because really retirement is not that complicated. And why do I say that? Well, here's my reasons. Number one, all you have to do is track your expenses. That's the number one thing before you retire. If you can do that before you retire, you know how much money you need, right? Now again, it could vary depending on situations, but you can definitely, by tracking, know what your numbers are going to be or what you're going to need in retirement, right? Sounds simple, but a lot of people don't do it, or they don't do it very well. And I know I was guilty of it. I think, okay, well, I got X amount in every 2 weeks and I spent X amount and yeah, I kind of know where I'm at. Well, no, I didn't because, did I buy donuts? Did I buy extra coffee? Did I buy a lunch? Did I buy this? Those things add up and they can surprise you. So when you're working, you need to look at what your expenses are, right? And then figure out, hey, I won't need certain things when I'm retired. So that's kind of a savings for you, right? But as many of you know, I do a breakdown because my wife and I are trying to live on Social Security alone. So last year, and this is tracking our expenses, and this is what I did shortly before retirement. I wanted to track and see, because it's the number one thing. See, it's written number one up here. It's number one. So I wanted to see, could we retire, my wife and I, on just our Social Security income? Because we don't have a big boatload of money sitting in the bank. So that was a very important consideration. What are we spending? What are we spending it on? And so we started doing this, and for 2024, a lot of you know, and if you don't, subscribe to the channel, the station, subscribe to the station, subscribe to the channel, and you could see this tomfoolery that I do, okay? But yeah, we did pretty good. I mean, $900 about we spent over and above our Social Security income for 2024. Now we get in $45,340, so maybe it's a little bit higher than some people, but a little bit lower than others. Again, I'm just talking just for our situation. So I got to thinking, okay, well, to simplify retirement, track your expenses, right? Your income is the easiest thing to figure out. That's number two, income. You got Social Security, maybe. You got pensions, maybe. You got savings, maybe. You have other investments, real estate investments, all your different investments that you have, which you're now getting ready to do taxes for, right? So you already know those numbers. I mean, you got a really good handle on those numbers. That's usually what everyone focuses on is the income side, not the expense side, right? So that's why I want to touch on this, because it's really not that hard, in my opinion. So we know what we're tracking our expenses. We know where we need to be. That's number one important. We know our income, right? Well, then what's left? So I wrote up a little thing, and I got basically some information from ChatGPT. I got some information from Best Buy. It's just really broad numbers. I would even call them top of the ladder numbers. Top of the ladder numbers, okay? From way up there looking down, right? So I figured, well, what am I going to need in retirement? Like, for my situation, and everyone's situation on this is going to be different because there's a big wide variety. Some people are really budget conscious. Some people don't care. And we'll get into that. They don't care about the money part of it. They want, a bigger quality item or whatever. So let's talk about that. And I started off with the furnace. Now, I know a lot of you in the South have, you don't use a traditional gas furnace. You might have a heat pump or something like that. Where here in the North, heat pumps are not the best thing for us. So my furnace is 27 years old and my air conditioner. I did replace the brain this past summer, which I documented on my board. But eventually it's going to fail. Something's going to go bad on it. And, within the next 3 years, technically I should replace that, right? And if you're going to replace the 90% fuel efficient Trane furnace, you might as well replace the AC that sits outside as well, right? So I kind of budgeted 10 grand for both with installation. Now, maybe that price is going to be higher because the costs in 3 years, they aren't going to be the same. They're going to continue to rise. So maybe that's going to be more. Maybe I can get it less. But chances are not. So I'm just budgeting 10 grand. Like I said, it could be more. A 50-gallon gas water heater. Now, some of you people are all electric. This doesn't apply. And I don't know electric versus gas, which is better as far as the outright purchase. But for me, we're all gas, pretty much. So a 50-gallon water heater is $1,800 installed. Now, you can go to Home Depot and buy your own and install it and probably save yourself about $800, $900. But I got an actual quote from a plumber that I'm using who did quote me the $1,800. And I think Chat GPT said that was a pretty good price too. Now, that's not the tankless water heaters. That's not getting exotic into different things. That's just your basic water heater from a decent company. So, with the installation. So, $1,800. Dishwasher, and all these here are about $1,500. Now, you can get them cheaper. You can get them for $700, $800. You can get them more expensive, okay? And I'd be curious if you guys could leave me a comment about how much you've recently spent, and I can update this board, and I'll take a picture of it, and we'll use it for future reference. What did you pay for your dishwasher or your refrigerator and freezer? I say $1,500 for the dishwasher, $1,500 for the fridge and freezer, $1,500 for a gas washer and dryer combination. Costco sells some nice brands. When they're on sale, I think they're a good price. But, Home Depot and Lowe's, they have them. And most of the appliance stores, like B&B Appliance, and most of these other appliance stores are out of business. So you're kind of stuck with just a few different options when it comes to buying stuff like that. So house paint, if you have we got siding. Some of you live in condos. Some of you don't have to deal with paint. But the average price is about $3 grand to have somebody come out and paint your house. The roof, now this is kind of an odd one because we paid, I think it was around $7,500 for dimensional shingles on our roof 6 years ago through a company. I did the garage, so he bought me the material and I did the garage, so I did save some money. But Chat GPT says the average nationwide is only 10 grand. Now, I thought that was pretty low because Ross at Middle Age Grind, he's an insurance agent in Louisiana, and he was talking in a recent video about how they're into the 20,000s easy for roofing. So I don't know if that's a good number or not, but I'm going to use the 10,000. Maybe it's 15, maybe it's 20. But that should be a one-time expense for you. If you get a nice 30-year, and you can get 30 years out of them, great. It's a one-time expense, hopefully. A car. That's the biggest thing. That's the biggest issue we may have in retirement, right? We're not going to put a lot of miles on unless you're a traveler, which a lot of people are. But if you're not a traveler, you're certainly not going to put on as many miles as you did for work. At least in my case, going to Akron about 95 miles a day, Akron to Cleveland, I'm certainly not doing that. That was around 24,000 miles a year. I think I'm lucky if I'm cracking 5,000 a year now, I think. But 20,000. So if you just take those numbers, and again, top of the ladder numbers, 20 grand or 50 grand, about, I just rounded it up a little bit. 50 grand, okay? It's going to be more. And why is it going to be more? Automatically. Because your 50-gallon gas water heater, well, the average retirement, the average you're going to get in retirement as far as years is about 20. Some will last longer, some won't. But the average, according to GPT, is 20 years. So let's say, just say 65 to 85. That's the average, okay? Now, out of that 20 years, and you bought some of this stuff, right? Probably a water heater, a dishwasher, fridge and freezer, and a car is you're going to have to do that twice in your retirement, right? So I figured around 50,000. You add up these, I'm going to just say 75,000. Now, that doesn't include travel, vacations, or anything like that. So, if you do a $5,000 vacation every couple years, right? That number could be 95, could be 100,000, easy, all right? But you just got to have it in your mind, hopefully before you retire, your expenses, your income, savings, and your must-buys. And that's what I called number 3, your must-buys. Because you're going to have these things. In most people's cases, you're going to have those things. Hopefully, like the roof, you can get away with once in your retirement. Heating and air, you can get away with once, etc., right? But, so for me, I have to think minimum 50 grand. For me, max, probably 75, 85,000, and I should be good. So, do I need $700,000? Oh, yeah, it'd be great to have. But do I have to have it? No, I don't. So, if you just do the basic, simple retirement math without getting into all the crazy stuff, which in some cases you have to get into all the nitty-gritty of retirement numbers, but in most cases you can just pencil it on a napkin and figure out broadly where you're going to be at, what you're going to need, and how successful you're going to be in retirement. Now again, this works for me. It may not work for you. I know a lot of people are using that Bolden retirement. I hear that from a lot of people, software. I just do it on my napkin, or in this case, I do it on my R15 insulation. That's going to be funny after I drywall that and the next person pulls that off, and after I'm dead and gone and they go pull that off, and what the hell was this guy doing? That's going to be interesting. Anyway, that's just my little pencil on napkin or R15 insulation at Buzz's Retirement Garage. If you like this kind of video, like and subscribe, and we'll be doing more. Take care. We'll see you.